April Isicsb board meeting. Holly, will you call the roll, please?
Luke Erpelding.
Good morning, Luke Erpelding, representing Communication Centers.
Mindy Benson.
Mindy Benson, present, representing Iowa Emergency Management.
Curtis Welker.
Present, representing EMS.
Michelle Bischoff.
Present, representing fire departments.
Michael Colby.
Present, representing municipal police departments.
Jeff Vanderwater.
Present, representing sheriffs.
And Patrick Updike.
Present, member at large.
We do have a quorum.
Do we have any legislative members on the line? Very well. I do not have any welcoming remarks. I'll entertain a approval of today's agenda.
Open motion.
Erpelding, a motion.
I have a
Colby will
motion.
second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval of the minutes from the April 12th meeting.
Vanderwater would move.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Erpelding will second.
All those in favor of approving the minutes from the March 12th meeting signify by
Aye.
saying aye.
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 Motion passes. That brings us to the SWIC report. SWIC Nichols.
Thank you, Chair Bischoff. Good morning, everyone. Very short report for April. I have begun creating a informational on encryption as I've been doing for the first couple months of the year. That is not yet complete, but it is a timely topic due to the capabilities of AI and the rapid adoption of encryption or full encryption by some agencies. So I'll keep working on that. Our IMED grant did get its extension, 6-month extension through September 28th or 30th of this year. The installs had been complete, but now we're working on the next steps. So that's really great that we got that. Planning continues for the controlled burn week in the Luss Hills. That's the end of this month. We've got a full roster of people signed up to work on their task books, and we've got deployables being secured for that event. We don't have anything to add for that INTD course that we will host sometime this year, hopefully, and I'll just keep you updated once the federal government opens back up. And then the last thing I just wanted to mention that you've probably all seen is cyber threats for critical infrastructure are heightened due to the Middle East conflict. I will be sending out all of the reports I get through my distribution list. So if you want on that, please let me know. And just around the state, SWICs and other people I have meetings with have mentioned a lot of incidents, especially in communication centers or government sort of entities, water plants and things like that. So that's really all I have today. Thank you very much.
Great. Are there any questions for SWIC Nichols regarding her report? That brings us to the 911 Council report. Program Manager DeRushi.
Thank you. Just a short update for me as well. We spent a lot of the time during today's 911 Council meeting talking through some of the network enhancements and upgrades, primarily the move of the West Des Moines Data Center to Raleigh, North Carolina, and the future move of the Davenport Data Center to Council Bluffs. Additionally, we talked and spent a little bit of time on the next gen 911 transition, and that's really on the carrier side, the wireline carriers, and getting their 911 traffic into an IP format and how that gets into the network. So the other thing that I will just mention here, the APCO-NENA conference is coming up April 20th and 21st. We did approve funding for those training sessions that they put on during that conference as well. So with that concludes my briefing. I would take any questions.
Great. Are there any questions for Program Manager DeRushi? Thank you, Blake. That brings us to the user group committee. Chair Vandewater.
Thank you. The users group met on March 19th. We had 12 members present. We did have a brief report from Rick One. We reviewed 2 applications, which will be further discussed later under new business. And that concludes my report.
Very well, thank you. Are there any questions for the user group? Great, thank you, Sheriff. The Finance Committee met on Tuesday this week and reviewed the financials. Everything was in order. We do have a question regarding a deposit that was made that the SWIC is following up with to figure out what the source of that money is. But all the expenditures were in order and nothing was unexpected other than that deposit that we're tracing down to figure out where it's from. Are there any questions regarding the financials? That brings us to Governance Committee. Chair Colby.
Good morning, all. We did meet on Tuesday the 7th. We discussed the merger of ISIC standard 1.1.0 and 2.12.2, which was discussed at last month's meeting. We did review the updated procedure and had no feedback other than it looks good and the 2 policies were combined in a very good manner, and that we would move forward with the recommendation to just retire 1.1.0 so we're not duplicating the contents within the policy manual. And that concludes my report, unless there's any questions.
Great. Are there any questions for governance? Thank you, Chief. Operations Committee, Chair Erpelding.
Hey, good morning, everyone. First item of business we have discussed is we do have an update on our scheduling for the Operations Committee meeting. Due to numerous conflicts, operations will now be meeting on the first Tuesday of every month, starting at 3 p.m. So with that, and that included this month, we met on Tuesday, April 7th at 3 p.m. with 4 members in attendance for this meeting. We had 1 item scheduled for old business, and that was a final review of ISIC standards 1.13.0. That is the Public Safety Communication Center interoperability. During this meeting, we had some very minor changes. At the previous meeting, there were some significant changes that are going to require this document to go up for 30-day comment. Once the website is back in service, we will go over that before posting. For new business, we had started working on the broadband push-to-talk over land mobile radios. This document will have some language changes to it, including the title. We're working on possibly updating it, most likely to LMR, to broadband interoperability. We had some further discussion, and at this time, operations will be tabling any further action. We're going to be sending that forward with Swick Nichols to finance for some review on some of the document. With that, I think that's going to conclude my report. And a reminder, next meeting will be on Tuesday, May 5th at 3 p.m.
Great, thank you. Are there any questions for the Operations Committee? Thank you, Luke.
Thank you.
Training and outreach, Chair Wotan.
Thank you, Chair. We had a rather short meeting. Nothing really has changed, or nothing really new to discuss at this time.
Thank you. Are there any questions for training or outreach? Training and outreach. Thank you, Curtis. ComU Credentialing Subcommittee, Deputy Swick Walzer.
We did not have, or have not yet had the meeting this month, just due to the fact the month started on Wednesday. So that meeting is scheduled for next week, and we will have an update for you in May.
Thank you. Any questions for the Credentialing Subcommittee? Thank you, Wally. Technology Committee, Chair Updike.
Good morning. Technology met on March 26th and April 2nd. The first order of business was to do another review of standards 2.10.0 and 2.12.2. Those, as was mentioned earlier, those have been combined. The two separate standards and their related standards were all gelled together. And so we sent that back to Swick Nichols to deal with it appropriately when it comes to potential 30-day comments. We took another deep dive into the LTE broadband ROIP discussion. Really, through all of the research, the various components that go with this, really just decided that it would be best to we did make some suggested word changes to take back to the governance committee. And so I think it's best just to let that evolve as needed just to see how things progress with that technology. We're going to have more discussions on it, but that's kind of where we're at this point. Our next step is to start reviewing standard 3.7.0, which is a standard for scanning. Wasn't able to get to that right away, but that's going to be on our agenda moving forward. And that's all I have for you today.
Very well, thank you. Are there any questions for technology? Thank you, Pat. FirstNet Broadband Subcommittee, Chair Benson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We meet actually next week on Tuesday, April 14th, for the FirstNet Broadband Subcommittee. Also wanted, if anybody's interested in joining that group or being on our meetings, please let us know. Myself or Holly can get you the link to that meeting. Also last week, it is to note that there was an Amber Alert that was issued here out of Black Hawk County. Of course, those get issued through Des Moines State Radio. A lot of the Amber Alert that goes out did not hit a lot of FirstNet AT&T phones. So I'm actively working with our AT&T partners to see why that did not hit those FirstNet phones or a large number of AT&T FirstNet phones. So that is in the works, working with Jensen Connor from Iowa Homeland Security and Emergency Management, as well as those AT&T partners. So as soon as I have some more information on that, I will report back to the Isicsb board, as well as get this addressed in our FirstNet broadband subcommittee group. It's kind of very concerning as to why those didn't go out and hit a lot of those phones, especially in this area. I'm not sure about statewide, but we're also kind of trying to find out that as well. So that again is a major concern for that group and myself. But other than that, that's all I have to report for the group. If there's any questions, I'll happy to field those. But again, if you'd like to be a part of our committee, we do meet next Tuesday. And unless I'm wrong, Holly, please correct me. But our meeting is at 9 o'clock and we do meet virtually.
Very well, thank you. Are there any questions for the FirstNet Broadband Committee subcommittee?
Thank you.
Thanks, Mindy. Our next item is other reports and information sharing among board members. I do have two items this month. One, to make everyone aware that the board has reached out at the request of Fayette County and Owine to assist them with a review of their radio systems and potentially coming forward with a waiver. So more to come on that, but just let everyone's aware that that is being discussed and being worked on. And the second item I have is to thank Mindy Benson for her participation on the board. Today is her last meeting. So thank you, Mindy, for all that you have contributed to the board and the leadership you have provided. And we wish you all the best in the future.
I thank you very much. It's been a great 6 years. And this board has taught me a lot, and I look forward to helping my replacement learn as much as I have along the way as well. So thank you all very much.
Thank you. And we are awaiting approval of the next person that will take that seat. And just for awareness purposes, April is when seats turn over. So seats that will be turning over next year are myself, Luke Erpelding, and Patrick Updike. So consider if you wish to stay a part of the board, or make it known so that we can be seeking suitable replacements if you are not anticipating renewing your membership on the board. Are there any other items of information sharing amongst board members? That brings us to the Essex System Administrator Report. Scott or Al?
I'll take that. Thank you. I'm going to start off with the Juniper router upgrade. Some of you may have seen the email maintenance notifications come out from me recently. 8 Isicsb sites are currently being transitioned from GM 8000 to Juniper routers. 16 sites have been completed so far. There are 9 scheduled for next week. And that transition is due to the GGM 8000s becoming end of life in the next few years. Most end users won't notice any impact when this happens, although there is the possibility of a brief site trunking during these changeovers. Stay tuned. You'll probably see more emails advising of which sites are scheduled for which days. Other than that, the Lord site recently sustained some wind damage, caused some loose cabling involving some old VHF equipment that was on the tower that was no longer in use. Tower crew was on site last week to effect repairs. The old equipment has now been removed from the tower. And at that time, the tower was also plumbed and guy wires tensioned as well. Buchanan site had taken a lightning strike on or about March 7th. With that, that site sustained damage to the tank sensor, LTEC DC power system, and generator. Those units have since been repaired, and the site did stay operational throughout. Beyond that, I've got numbers for March of 26. Radios currently stand at 48,063. Talk groups are at 3,651, and our push to talks for last month was just over 3.2 million. That concludes my report.
Well, thank you. Are there any questions for the sysadmins? That brings us to the FirstNet Authority. Tom Lampy.
Can you hear me? I'm in the middle of Nebraska.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I'm going to talk about, first thing I'm going to talk about is reauthorization. When Congress created the authority in 2012, it established 15-year sunset date of February 22nd of 27. So the continuation of the FirstNet program after this date would require congressional reauthorization. A 2022 report by the Government Accountability Office stated that Congress should consider reauthorizing the authority before the 27 sunset date to ensure the continuity and prevent the disruption for our first responders. 2 congressional hearings were held in early 2026 to discuss FirstNet Authority reauth. In January of 26, FirstNet Authority Acting Board Chair Sheriff Michael Atkinson testified before the Senate Subcommittee on Telecommunications and Media in a hearing. And in February, he also testified before the House and Energy Subcommittee on Technology. In January of 26, Representatives Neil Dunn, a representative from Florida, and Jennifer McClelland from Virginia introduced legislation to reauthorize FirstNet until September of 2037. The bill was passed by the House Energy and Subcommittees on Communications and Technology on February 10th, 26, and by the full Energy and Commerce Committee on March 25th of 26. So that's progressing very nicely. There's also been an announcement just in last few weeks. Our Secretary Letnick from Commerce announced a $2 billion deal for the FirstNet. They announced on March 31st that Commerce Secretary Letnick had worked out a deal with AT&T to secure an additional $2 billion in value to benefit public safety under the FirstNet contract. So that is on top of the $8 billion we already have for reinvestment into the network. So that was a very nice addition to or for first responders and for the network. The FIFA World Cup, we're supporting that. I specifically in Kansas City will have 4 teams down there. It'll be an enormous amount of users on all networks. So we have been preparing that for actually the last couple of years. So we'll be supporting that as well. Mission critical, we require our partner AT&T to provide us 2 push-to-talk options. The newest one you may have heard is called Fusion. It's mission critical push-to-talk. They're going to launch that here soon. It meets all the 3GPP standards. Mission critical push-to-talk, 911, and situational awareness. We're currently going to replace the FirstNet push-to-talk, which we've had when we first started. So that replaces that. And the other one will be FirstNet Rapid Response, which we already have. So there'll be two push-to-talk platforms. So we are working with the subcommittee on getting another coverage workshop scheduled for this year. It's an ongoing thing. We'll come around yearly and we'll announce where the money has been spent and what sites are going to be erected in Iowa, which are on contract, which are being engineered for analysis, and which are under consideration. So we will show all that progress during the next workshop. So that's my report. I'll take any questions.
Great, thank you. Are there any questions for the FirstNet Authority? Hearing none, we'll move on to AT&T update with Bart Blank.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Short update. Of course, network modernization continues. Still going fast there. Just a product highlight today. We announced earlier in the week partnership with Sonim. We launched, it's an AT&T and FirstNet exclusive device. They, if you're familiar with Sonim, they're known for their very ultra rugged device. They're an Android-based platform. They have like push-to-talk buttons on the side. But now their XP Pro, they've launched the XP Pro Thermal. So it has a thermal camera on it. A lot of different applications in the field, from fire to construction to electricians to just basic night vision type stuff for the heat. But that's launched as part of our free Smartphone for Life program. So it is available at free for our first responders on agency accounts. But it's the XP Pro Thermal if you want to go online and check it out. And I'll be presenting more on it on our broadband committee meeting coming next week. That's all I got.
Great, thank you, Bart. Are there any questions for AT&T? That brings us to the CISA update with Chris Myers. Chris is unable to attend these meetings due to the government shutdown. We do not have any old business. New business, new Isicsb user approval. The Des Moines County Sheriff's Office update, level 3. Chair Vandewater, did you want to introduce this topic for this application?
Sure. If it's permissible, I'll just make a motion for both Des Moines County and the Army Corps of Engineers at Rock Island. Following the recommendation of the users group, I would make a motion to approve the new and updated applications, which include Des Moines County Sheriff's Office on their updated application at a level 3, and then also the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers at Rock Island at a level 1.
Is there a second?
This is Colby. Prior to making a motion to second, I just have a quick question on the update. Are they currently a different level and they're just going up to a level 3, or is there a different change there that they're actually updating for pertaining to Des Moines County Sheriff's Office?
So they, I don't have it in front of me, but they, well, give me a second. They really aren't changing their level. What they did was wrote a letter in recommendation of, stand by. They wrote a letter in support of the American Ordnance Company, which operates the Iowa Army Ammunition Plant within Des Moines County, and essentially wanted them to have access to their own, which by there I mean Des Moines County, to have access to Des Moines County's talk groups and interop. They have their own security. They have their own fire and EMS departments on the ammunition plant and do respond to outside the facility incidents upon request for mutual aid. So Des Moines County themselves did not change levels. It was the inclusion and going through 8.8.0 for kind of adding them onto their own talk groups.
Thank you. I'd make a second for his motion.
Very well. I have a motion and a second to approve the user agreements for both Des Moines County Sheriff's Office and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers at Rock Island. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We also have a INTD credential for Alicia.
With the Lappy. I don't see her here today, although she was given the invite, so maybe something came up. We will just mail this to her.
But we appreciate her work and her agency supporting her to achieve that credential. That brings us to public comment. Are there any members of the public that wish to address the board? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved. Colby.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Great. Thank you all for your time and dedication to the